Lord, we ask you, God, to give us the strength that we need to move on and keep on walking. Lord, we thank you, God, for the life of my nephew. I thank you, God, for his life. Thank you, Lord, because you have honored him, because you have given him life, and you have taken away life, because you are the author of our life, Father God. Lord, and we thank you for everything you do. We just give you honor and glory, God, in Jesus' name. And we all say, the Lord is my shepherd, I should not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still water. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Thou prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Surely I know that Louito is dwelling in the house of the Lord forever. In Spanish, en español, Salmo 23. Jehová es mi pastor y nada me faltará. En lugares delicados pastos me hará descansar. Junto a aguas de reposo me pastoreará, confortará mi alma, me guiará por sendas de justicia por amor de su nombre. Aunque ande en valle de sombra de muerte, no temeré mal alguno, porque tú estarás conmigo. Tu vara y tu cayado me infundarán aliento. Aderezas mesas delante de mí en presencia de mis angustiadores. Unges mi cabeza con aceite, mi copa está rebosando. Ciertamente el bien y la misericordia me seguirán todos los días de mi vida, y en la casa de Jehová moraré por largos días. No hay duda en mi corazón que Louito está morando en la casa de Jehová por sus largos días. La vida que tenemos hoy no es vida. La vida es después de la muerte comienza nuestra vida, porque esa es la vida eterna. Aquí estamos en esta tierra pasando solamente temporalmente. Su palabra dice que vamos a sufrir dolor, pero ya cuando tenemos con Él, vamos a ser celestiales como Él. Pueden tomar sus lugares. I really want for you to share some words. Yo sí quiero que ustedes compartan memorias buenas de Louito. So le voy a pedir primeramente a su mamá que pase y que ella sea la primera, y así después comenzamos con cada primo, cada amigo, cada hermano. No sé si hay maestros de aquí de él. I don't know if there's teachers or relatives or friends. I know they're relatives and friends, but teachers of him, you can share. I know that all I know, and I know that ever since I got married to my wife, he told me, I'm glad that you're marrying my Aunt Rita. And he gave me a big smile, and he said, she's the best aunt ever. And she said, I love my Aunt Rita a lot. And I go, I love her too, Louito. And she said, okay, Tío, I love you. And he gave me a hug. I'll never forget that. He gave me like the approval because I was marrying the aunt. And after that, he called me Tío for the very first time. And that, to me, it's memories that I'll never forget. And after that, he showed me how to work in DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all the other companies that are out there. He always would send me a friend request, and I would go, Louie, Louito, I'm already working DoorDash. He goes, no, just for you to give me $150, just start. So I would start, and I know that he received the $150 in the app, and I go, okay, I quit that Uber Eats. And then after that, I started working DoorDash again. And then he sent me another one for my wife. He goes, can you tell Tia to start DoorDash? So I started DoorDash with my wife, but I was doing the work. So we received money, he received money, and I know that he was always very happy. And then there's some other one that came about that I never started. He said, come on, this one pays $300 for me if you start. And I don't know what's it called, the other food company that's out there. But you know what? He would always want to start an opportunity with someone and always help me. I am a full-time pastor, and I was doing part-time delivery. And that's the way I would take out my wife, because Louito said, take out Tia. So I would take out my wife, and thank God for DoorDash through Louito. Sister Nancy, come and express your words.
Mi hijo está en un mejor lugar, y yo nomás quiero compartir algo de nuestra vida. Y yo no lo quería leer, pero yo sé que todos los que estamos aquí es mi familia, muy cercana de mí, y por eso yo quiero compartir esto con ustedes. Y mi cuñada Rita me decía, el Señor te va a dar las fuerzas, Nancy, el Señor te va a dar las fuerzas. Y dije, no, léelo tú. Dice, no, léelo tú, porque es tu personal. Lo puedo hacer ahorita en la tarde, no creo que lo pueda, pero ahorita lo voy a hacer. Y comienza así. Dice así, no sé si todos saben español, y los que no comprendan, que le digan a su vecino ahí, ¿y qué dijo? Dice, cuando yo era una niña creciendo en una familia de 12, y yo era la número 9, en medio de tantos hombres, nunca pensé que sería tan difícil hasta que me tocó a mí cuidar de mis hermanos, pues mi padre se enfermó y mi madre tenía que trabajar para ayudar en los gastos de nuestro hogar. Y yo me tuve que hacer cargo de casi todos mis hermanos y también del cuidado de mi padre. Y ahí, en ese lugar, siempre había mucho drama. No estoy diciendo que había drama con los mayores, había drama con los chiquitos, con los más pequeños. Y siempre yo tenía que estar en medio de ellos, con mis hermanos menores. Yo siempre, cuando ya crecí, yo siempre le decía a Dios, cuando yo me case, yo solo quiero 2 hijos, porque yo no creo que pueda con más. Y cuando ya me casé y salí embarazada por primera vez, no sabía lo que íbamos a tener. Pero Louie, él ya sabía lo que íbamos a tener. Él siempre tenía en su calendario, ahí viene LouAnn, hasta que ella nació. Y cuando ella nació y me entregaron esa hermosa bebé, güerita, gordita, que pesó más que 2 gemelos juntos. 2 gemelos juntos, ella pesó más. Y yo pensé entre mí, no va a ser tan difícil, es una niña. Y siempre han dicho, con las niñas no batallas. Y yo decía, pues sí, porque todos mis hermanos que yo cuidaba eran hombres, y todos, siempre había algo en la casa de mis padres. Cuando ya estuvimos listos para tener nuestro segundo hijo, aunque Louie, él quería solo una niña, pero yo quería Y la verdad que yo le pregunté a mi esposo, ¿por qué tú nomás querías a una niña? Apenas, nunca en mis casi 38 años yo le había preguntado, ¿por qué tú nomás querías una niña? Pero le dije, dime la verdad. Y él dijo, Nancy, yo te vi sufrir tanto con LouAnn cuando estabas en el hospital, que yo dije, yo no quiero que Nancy vuelva a pasar por otro embarazo igual. Pero esperé casi 4 años. Mi hija iba a la escuela y yo ya estaba esperando salí embarazada y esperamos a un niño. Y Louie no sabía lo que yo iba a tener, pero yo pude sentir a los 40 días que algo dentro de mi vientre ya se movía. Y cuando él estaba por nacer y tuve que ir al hospital para tener a mi bebé, y me lo trajeron, me lo dejaron en mis brazos. Antes de eso que me lo trajeran, mi esposo me dijo, ya lo vi, y es pelirrojo, se parece a mi mamá. Entonces cuando a mí me lo trajeron y me lo dieron en mis brazos y yo lo miré, era un niñito tan morenito, con tanto pelo que no había diferencia entre la frente y los ojos. Y yo lo miré en mis brazos y le dije, ay, mijito, pareces un changuito, mijito. Pero entonces él abrió sus ojitos y se rió conmigo. Abrió así y me vio y se le miró su pocito. Y yo le dije, mijito, perdóname, mijito. Eres el bebé más hermoso de todo el mundo, mijito. Y al pasar el tiempo, me di cuenta que no era tan difícil cuidar a un niño. Pues si LouAnn no estaba en la casa, era como si no había bebé. Él siempre fue un niño bien tranquilo, siempre jugando en su cuarto, con sus juguetes, haciendo ruidos que hasta ahorita yo no entiendo qué estaba jugando o qué estaba hablando. Siempre lo oía que escuchaba que decía las tortugas ninjas, no sé. Siempre hacía ruido de todo, pero él era siempre bien tranquilo. Él siempre era muy siempre sonriente, él estaba contento, él le gustaba dar, él no era envidioso, no era agarrado, le gustaba compartir mucho. Él siempre era un niño que cuando sabía que iban a venir todos sus primitos a la casa, él siempre estaba contento y feliz. O si sabía que nosotros íbamos a ir a la casa de mis hermanas, él estaba contento y feliz. Mi hijo siempre fue un niño muy feliz. Le doy gracias a Dios que aunque estuve a punto de dar a luz, cuando estuve a punto de dar a luz, casi pierdo la vida. Pero el Señor Jesucristo, Él me dejó vivir Él me dejó la vida para yo poder cuidar a mi hijo por casi 32 años. Él estuvo en mi vida y Dios me escogió para que yo pudiera ser su madre. Y aunque dejas un vacío en mi corazón, y un vacío entre tantos que te queremos, entre sus primos, entre sus amigos, entre sus sobrinos. Yo sé que mi carrera no ha terminado aquí, porque todavía tengo 2 jóvenes y una hermosa nieta a quien yo tengo que guiar con la ayuda del Señor Jesucristo para que ellos sigan adelante. Y yo sé que cuando el Señor me llame a su presencia, yo lo voy a volver a ver, porque así está escrito y porque para mí el vivir es Cristo y el vivir es ganancia. Y además porque Él también entregó su vida a Cristo y fue bautizado cuando Él tenía 12 años. Él dijo que Él era un pecador. Y yo le dije a mi suegro, ¿por qué lo tienes que bautizar? Él es un niño, 12 años. Dijo, ¿no lo oíste? Que dice que es un pecador. 9 y medio. Y yo le pregunté a él, ¿estás seguro que te quieres bautizar? Y él dijo, sí, mami. Dije, oh, está bien, vamos a hacerlo. Y yo espero, esto nos duele mucho, pero yo espero que esto que estamos pasando, que sirva para que a muchos primos, sobrinos, que recapaciten y que miren que la vida no es tan fácil. La vida se nos va en un momento. Y no le digo a mi hijo un adiós, sino un hasta pronto. Y lo único que puedo decir, Louis Charles, te quiero mucho, mi hijito lindo, como siempre te decía cada vez que te hablaba o te miraba. Sinceramente, tu madre. Yo le decía, él me decía, en veces no nos hablábamos y me decía, ¿quién es? Él sabía quién soy, porque él tenía guardado mi teléfono y le decía, soy yo, tu madre. Sinceramente, tu madre. Y algún día nos volveremos a encontrar. Que el Señor les bendiga, hermanos, primos, sobrinos. Y está aquí abierto si tienen alguien que tiene una memoria, compartirla. Este es el tiempo, porque ya en la tarde no va a haber oportunidad.
Everybody, my name is Rita Cedillo. I'm Louito's aunt. I'm my brother's or baby sister. The Bible says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And he gives us strength in this time of sorrow, but we know that we will see him again. I always loved to be with, Louito always loved to be with his tia Rita when he was younger. When he was about 3 years old, Michelle and I were driving him to his house after church because, of course, I would spoil him. And I remember as we were driving the expressway to go to his house, 2 guys slowed down on the expressway, and I guess they wanted to flirt with 2 girls. But then they didn't know that we had Louito in the middle. So we said, Louito, say hi to the guys. And as soon as Louito just looked at the guys, he waved, and they sped up. When he was 12 years old, he carried our Bible in our wedding, and he carried the marriage license, even though he didn't want to do it. But he knew that Tia Rita wanted him to do it. But before that, he loved to be in, I used to own an MS2 Toyota Spider, and he always wanted to be with me because it was a 2-seater. And he even went with me to get fitted for my wedding dress in San Antonio. And I remember we talked and talked and talked. It was about 6 hours to get to San Antonio. And we spent there about a day and a half, and we just had so many beautiful memories. I love spoiling him, like I still do to Jadon, Amos, and Ella, because we never had children. But I know I don't lose hope of having children, even though I'm 50 years old. I would always encourage him to graduate from, of course, high school, college. And one day, he read me a very nice letter. I wish we could have found it, but we couldn't find it. That he said Tia Rita inspired him to reach his goals. And I thank the Lord for that. Lately, I would say about a year and a half, he didn't want to answer my calls or texts because he would say that his mom and sister, that's all I spoke was about God. And they said that I always force him, but the world doesn't force them to be in them. And that's so true. I did tell him about God because that's all I knew. Because I know that God gives us peace that passes all understanding. God is the perfect love that casts out all fear. He's the water that we drink and we never thirst again. And I tell each and every one of us that are here that if you've tried everything and everything has failed, try Jesus, because that's a true joy. And I know that one day I'm going to see him again because he's with us in our hearts and his memories always stay with us. I love you, Louito. And all I wanted was the best for you. And I know that you are now resting in his arms. And one day we will see him again. I love you. God bless you.
Hi. A lot of you know me, but some of you don't, so I'm going to introduce myself. Oh, sorry. I am Jadon Garza. I'm his nephew. I'm just going to talk about one of the memories that I've been thinking about, one of my most cherished ones. So as a child, I mean, I still am a child, but, you know, when I was younger, like maybe, I would say this is about 4th or 5th grade, I'd always try to stay up super late and watch movies on my TV. My mom would always catch me and tell me to go to bed. But one night, my uncle came into the room. He was like, "Come on, I got to show you something." And he came and grabbed my brother and I, and he would show us the episodes of the old Power Rangers TV show and the Ninja Turtles cartoons. And we'd be there till like 3, 4 in the morning watching them, episode after episode. And he had a PC, so like a gaming PC inside his room. We'd also play like Mega Man and Battletoads. There were some real old school games. Man. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because I'm starting to get anxiety up here. I miss playing games with him. I miss watching shows with him. And Unks, I know you're at peace right now, and I love you. And I want you to always be on my thoughts and always be in my mind. And I'll see you soon. Not too soon, maybe like couple decades or centuries, something like that. But I'll see you in a minute.
Tell them your dream.
My dream?
Yeah, tell them your dream.
All right. Well, I had a dream a couple nights ago, maybe like 1 or 2 nights ago, that I crossed a canal to get to like a construction site, a bunch of unfinished apartments. I was exploring, and there was this one structure that was like just 2 stories. The bottom story was unfinished, a bunch of plastic bags covering like windows and walls and stuff. And I go upstairs and I walk into this apartment, and it's a finished apartment. It's like it wasn't any one apartment that we lived at. It was more of like a combination of everywhere that we've lived at. Wow. Looking back on it, I would describe it as what I would think was his happy place. And I saw him, and I was like, I was looking around. I was like, this doesn't feel right. This isn't right. I told Uncle was there. He was inside the apartment. It was just me and him. We were the only ones in there. I was like, hey, bro, your car's parked in the wrong spot. Is that gray Camaro? I don't know if it's. You're probably gonna see it again, but there's a picture of him like this. In the program. He was behind the door. I was like, hey, bro, your car's in the wrong spot. And in the apartment that we were in, there's a window right here, and I was looking past the blinds, and he was looking out a different window than I was. He's like, bro, what are you talking about? I told him, this is the wrong apartment, man. We're in the wrong spot. He's like, bro, what are you talking about? And he was telling me, what are you talking about, like he was where he was supposed to be. Not like he wasn't, like he didn't know where he was. He was telling me that he knew where he was. He was where he was supposed to be, his happy place. I was like, man, I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna take a pic. I'm gonna send you a video because it's unfinished. You're in the only finished apartment. He was like, man, you know how he is, all his mannerisms and stuff. And as soon as I walked out the apartment and went downstairs, I woke up.
Hello, my name is Joseph Espino. I'm Louito's cousin. Man, I remember when I was a little kid, we'll go to my tia Nancy's on summer. We'll switch, like we were just talking. One would stay with my mom, one would go with my tia Nancy, or Louito would stay in Harlingen or go to Austin. I remember we had a PlayStation and a game that's called Street Fighters. And I remember a phone call that my tia had got from Louito, and well, when I talked to Louito, he goes, man, your brother just broke the PlayStation. I go, what? How? He goes, I was kicking his butt on Street Fighters too many times. And I'm like, oh, man. So my cousin, he really loved games. And also, I remember this memory that this girl, she would call us trailer heads. And I would get mad, and so I would call her alligator braces. So Louito, when he first met her, he goes, she introduced herself as Crystal, but he goes, oh, you're alligator braces. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I should have told him not to tell her that. But my cousin, man, he was a nice guy. He was fun to be around. He always made you laugh. Always. And I'm gonna miss hanging around with him a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, mijo. Hey everybody, I'm Marco Rico. I'm one of Louito's cousins. Just like the chafa said, he would switch off, and for those of you who don't know what a chafa is, it's him. It's him and his brother. But like the chafa said, you know, he would go back and forth, Austin to Harlingen, and I remember it was a spring break or maybe a couple spring breaks that he stayed at our house with us, and you know, back to the video games, right? We would stay up all night trying to beat Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Snap and stuff like that, and you know, it was always a good time with Louito, and he made you laugh, and you know, he was never really mad. often. I can't remember too many times where I seen where he was upset or mad. You know, he was always happy. Nothing really bothered him, and things like that. And it was hard for me. It was hard for me to hear what happened. But you know, with that said, we just got to keep his spirit alive, his laughter alive, and stuff like that. And you know, one thing about Louito, if y'all don't know, I mean, y'all probably all do know, man, that boy liked to sleep in. Anytime we went to Mexico, right, man, he would sleep in. And as all y'all know, right, Grandma's house was a free-for-all. And Grandma let us do whatever we wanted to do. And no one could tell us nothing, right? That's Grandma, yeah. Abuelita let us do whatever we wanted. So once we started going back to Mexico as adults, right, nothing changed. We would still mess around with each other like we were kids. So these last couple times that we went, and I remember I scared my tío Bube with this one. Louito was asleep upstairs, and I got one of them big old cañones from Mexico, right? He was asleep, my brother was asleep, and all that stuff. So there we go, man, and don't think we're outside, right? Like we're inside of a home, right? And I go ahead and light that sucker in, I throw it right into the next room. Boom, it goes off. Louito just went like this. Come on, man. And then went right back to sleep. He didn't even move, man. He didn't even move. It was funny. It was funny, man. But you know, what I like to say is, you know, even though there are a lot of us, right? What is it, like 30-something grandchildren Grandpa had? And I want to say this, that even though we're all living our own lives and we're not always together, when we do come together, every time we make it count. Yeah. We make it count, man, and it is fun, whether it's at someone's birthday, you know, a barbecue at City Park like we always used to have, you know, or even if it's just we bump into each other downtown, you know, at the clubs and stuff, we always make that time to make that moment every time, and it never fails, and I appreciate all of you for that. And those moments we need to continue to make, right? Because that's just the way it is. So I appreciate all of you for always taking time to make that moment whenever we bump into each other, even though we're not always together, right? But when we do come together, we make it count. So I love all y'all, man. I love all y'all. And I appreciate y'all. And I love you, Louito, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Appreciate it. Thank you, mijo. Wow. We was talking about Louito, and I remember Louito, I don't know if he was driving to Harlingen from Austin or driving to Austin from Harlingen. But he told me, Tío, I'm going to take off in my motorcycle. I go, mijo, good luck. I think he couldn't go to sleep for like a week after he drove his motorcycle all the way to Austin or all the way to Harlingen. He goes, never again. I think he asked his dad to take him back home on the car or something. He'll do crazy stuff, right? Just to get to his cousins or to his mom. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Joshua Espino. I'm one of Louito's 30-something cousins, I guess. But yeah, that fool. Man. So I got so many memories, including when my twin said I broke the PlayStation because he kept beating me. But anyways, man, that boy was full of life. He was never sad, never mad, always kept a big smile on his big old gerbil cheeks. We'll mess with him when I go to his apartment. We'll be like, wake up, make us some country breakfast, like you always do, man. Yeah. But so many memories, like my first time being in Vegas is because of him. Wow. And man, I was in like this one situation. I didn't want to be in the crab tables because I didn't know how to do it. And then I saw my cousin Fabian, he's up there, but he lost, he didn't make no money. So I'm like, all right, it's 12 o'clock at midnight, and I'm gonna just go see what I could do with $10. And I left that crab table that night with like $300. But I remember, like, I'm in the crab table, I'm just having a good time and just concentrating. And well, Louito always would go to my house, and we would always play around, and he got introduced to all our friends and everybody around us. And we just picked up something like slapping each other's neck, and he'll go on like friend things. So I'm right there at the crab table, and then out of nowhere he goes, "Wow!" I'm like, "Oh!" I was like, man, and it was Louito. I was like, man, I thought you were somebody else. I was gonna punch you, but yeah. And the orange Harley he got right there. I remember we went out, coming from downtown, going to get something to eat. I would just be like ramming it, just boom, boom, pow, pow. I saw fire flying out of his bike. I was like, man, but Louito didn't care. He just saw me having fun with his bike and just let me be. But just, I'm gonna keep that same energy that he showed me for him, and that energy will never die. And I always keep a smile and show all the family love like he did. Thank you.
Thank you, Mio. Thank you, Mio. I want everybody to smile right now, like Louito. Just smile. Someone else. Okay, most of you are wearing masks, right? I know you're smiling. Anybody else? I saw this jersey and I said, okay, Emmett Smith.
Hi, everybody. I'm Daniel Rodriguez. I'm from the Rico side, though. Not the Rodriguez. But, yeah, I used to tell them that I'm the only Rodriguez in the Rico side. But, yeah, everybody, like he would say, would play games since we were little with Ariel, my brother, everybody, the family. And I remember when he came back, like I moved back like in 08, right, Theo? I came back to the church. 08, right? Yeah, I think so, yeah. And I remember chilling from then. And I'll never forget when I got like my first fake ID. And I went with him. I was like 17, and I would be nervous everywhere. And then we'd have a good time. And I remember I went to my first spring break with him too. And I'll never forget his face. He got so scared because I remember the sheriffs were walking around checking everybody. They were like, let me see your ID, let me see your ID. He's like, oh my God, Daniel, oh my God. I go, chill. And then I take out my ID. I remember I used to do this face because the dude was kind of skinny. So I'll go like that. And then the officer goes, all right, Mr. Florentino, you're good to go. And then Louis was like, wow, dude. I was like, woo. I was like, wow. Man, and then another memory, I remember at his apartment, and I had a girl over there, and then she didn't speak English, so I remember watching this movie, and I'm trying to explain it to her, all I hear is laughing, and it was Louis. He's like, dude, you're a horrible translator. I was like, man, I'm trying to watch the movie too. I'm trying to enjoy the movie. It's like, it ain't my fault. I was like, dang. So I was just like, man, and then we had so many good memories from kids till now, and I'm just glad. Like my last words to him, like a week before he passed, I went to his house. I was just showing him my new ring, my Jesus ring. I was like, look, cuz I just bought this ring, and he's all like, oh, that's cool, man. You're gonna try to get Jordan 6 rings or something? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to catch up, get more rings. And he's like, that's cool. And I was like, hey, come chill with me this week or something. And then he was like, and I gave him a hug. I'm like, I love you, cuz. I'll see you when I can. He's like, all right, I'll see you soon. And that was the last words I told him. And he was still here. And, you know, like everybody said, we'll keep his memories. He was always happy. It was rare, like, to see him sad. And he was just always happy, you know, like, never, like, angry. Like, it would be, like, rare to see him. And he was just always happy, you know, just happy to chill with me or his mom or the family, everybody, friends. And he was a good man. He was baptized, and like Jadon said, not right now, but whenever I pass, I'll see him soon.
Hi, I'm Nikki Rico, and I'm Louito's cousin. And I have a lot of memories with Louito. We grew up together. I used to go stay in the valley in the summers with him, and I remember Louito as a good-hearted, loving person, and I'll always remember when we were little, we always used to hold hands. Like, we'd go to the store or just walking down the street, we'd hold hands. He was a good person. I loved Louito a lot, and I know he loved me too. And he was always so nice to my brother and sister, who were a lot younger than us, and they were so annoying, but I just always remember him just being patient and just nice to them. And I just love that about him. I remember Louito loved to eat Whataburger. He loved the Whataburger milkshakes. I remember that about him. I just have so many good memories with him and with all of you. And I love you guys so much. And like Marco was saying, we do make it count. And we might not always get together all the time, but we are bonded for life because we're blood, yes. All of us. And I'm so happy we're all here together celebrating him. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, Mija.
Thank you.
Thank God for Whataburger. What a burger. That's what he would say. That's right. What a burger. Yeah, I think that's why he really wanted orange and white. I don't think it was too much Longhorn. I think it was the Whataburger. Anybody else? This is your time. Thank you, Mijo.
I'm not one to speak in front of people, especially with an audience. But I remember when I was little at the North Celia house, he'd lend the Nintendo 64 to me and Jadon, and we'd always play Smash Bros. But for some reason, Jadon decided to go sleep with our mom. So I was up in the room playing this 64, trying to beat the campaign, which is like all these other little levels. And Louito walked in on me playing, and it was late already. So he was like, "Do you want to get caught by your mom and dad?" And I was like, "No." He's all, "Then put a blanket over you." Even though he said that, it never worked. But, yeah. And I also remember this one time where I went to Louito's room, and I think he was getting annoyed by me because I was always in there. And I think one of the twins was in there. I don't really remember either Joshua or Joseph. But, this was a pretty tough memory for me, but I know he was laughing a lot, so now I laugh about it. But he got so annoyed that he picked me up by my underwear and he hung me on the door. And I was hanging up there, I couldn't do anything about it. And then he got me down and we were laughing about it. Or they were laughing about it. I ran to my room and started crying, But I love him. I miss him.
Yeah. Amen.
And whenever it's my time, I'm ready to go see him.
That's LouAnn's son. Tremendos. Okay, twin, which one was it? Who was it? It was funny for a bit, right? Yeah. I think that's what we got. I remember that because Louito told me the following morning because I was sleeping right in the couch. And I go, you did that to Amos? I go, yeah. He deserved it. That's why he's not supposed to be in my room. Anyways, someone else.
God bless everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm Louis' dad, and I didn't want to talk, but I just remember that one time when he was a little child, and I don't know what age, and he had like a bunch of warts in his fingers. Yeah. And he must have been 8 or 9, and we tried to put in medicine and all that, but we've been to church so many times, 3 times a week, 2 times on Sundays without fail, and we would go to this tent. There was a revival, and then I think Nancy told him, God can heal you, God can heal you. And he believed it with all his heart. He went to the front and he was crying, and God healed him. His wart totally went away like a miracle from all his fingers and his hands. But I didn't want to come here to say anything, but I remember also we love firearms and guns and anything that goes bang. And that was so funny about that cohete they threw in the room. Oh, God. And so we would stay up all night long in a van with my dad. He had given us his van. And we would go way up in Santa Rosa behind the sugar, where they make the sugar cane fields and stuff. And we'd stay all night long. And then we would buy a bunch of plates at yard sales, and we would shoot them all day, like thousands of dollars of ammunition. We'd shoot plates in the canal. And he shot some bird or something, and then he had a loaded 8 or 9 shot 22, and this I'll never forget. He was, Dad, come here, with a gun. And I was like, freeze. It was Dan, Louis, and myself, and they were kind of small, and I was saying, if y'all shoot me, there ain't gonna be nobody to take y'all back. So I like, freeze, put the gun down, and then say, hey, Dad, come here. So I love my son always, wherever. And I can't believe that Thursday was a somber day for me, and I just feel like I was a nightmare. That's what I keep saying, that I thought I want to wake up from. And it messes you up. I couldn't even sleep, and you're just thinking, but I'm glad God gave peace to LouAnn, gave peace to me. I was coming from Elgin, trying to get to 620 when all this happened on that Thursday at 2:30 in the morning or something like that. And I always ask God, when my mom passed away, Rita called me, and when my mom passed away, I saw 2 horses. I was coming from Georgetown, Texas, and back into Round Rock, into Austin, and I saw 2 horses in the middle of the highway, in the median. You never see horses like people with horses in the middle of the 2 lanes, going and coming north and south. And they had a white horse with no saddle, and they were like guiding it. Wow. And I was like, wow. Right when Rita was calling me, I was like, wow, that's Mom's horse. And there was nobody on it because she was on it. And wow. And then this time I was coming from Elgin, and I just want God to always like show me something so I know I could be at peace immediately. And they told me, haven't you heard? There was a call me ASAP message from Rita when my phone starts working at 4 in the morning. And I looked at it and I said, oh, it's probably from yesterday. And I said, no, it's 4:30 in the morning. And I called her whenever I could get a signal there. And then it said they found him unresponsive. And then I was coming, trying to get to 620 while they were with him at his apartment. And then God just kind of shows me that there's there's an ambulance in front of me, but it was going real slow and the lights were turned off. So even though I made a prayer and bent my knee before I left, and I said, God, have mercy. You're a merciful God. You can give him another chance. But I said, God, I know he's gone. When I saw that ambulance, and then I was out my truck. I hang my mask whenever the governor first said the no mask mandate. I hanged it on my antenna from my truck. And then it was there just going everywhere, and finally my antenna broke with the mask. And so my truck only gets one station, Magic 95 or something like that. and then that song comes on. Right after I saw that ambulance, the song came on from Bryan Adams, and it's finding it hard to believe we're in heaven. So I would say, I'm finding it hard to believe you're in heaven. And then I was like, oh my God. And as I was coming into Manor, and then the sun is coming up, and I just see the Sonic on my left-hand side, and then the lights, they just like flick. They were like off, and they flick on and off about 5 times, and then they turn off. So, and then I know exactly where he's at. So, God bless y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Love y'all. Love of my son always.
Thank you, Louie. Thank you, Louie.
What's up, family? I'm Michael Cronus. What's a good memory with him, man? There's so many. I just hate, he was real loving, man. He always had a smile on his face, He was full of life. He was a good character. He'd always play an act to sing and stuff, And I remember one good time we had, and we went to a party, and we had got wasted. I'm talking about super drunk. And he had that little R6, the little Yamaha with the motorcycle, and he would always try to do wheelies, and Well, I remember one time we were leaving, and I was like, hey, Papa Willie, and he was like, all right. So he ended up doing it, and he ended up hitting the back of the Jeep. And I got out the car, and I ran. I was like, hey, man, you all right? And he was like, oh, I'm good. But he was more worried about his bike. So he looks at his bike, and he's like, oh, I just broke a tail light. He was like, it's all right. So I was just like, man, I was like, you okay? You sure you don't need to go to the hospital? And he was like, no, man, I'm good. He's like, I'm just more worried about my bike. And I was like, oh, man. But there was a lot of good times, like the Battletoads. Like, we would always play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I remember we would always beat the twins, and they would always slam the remote on the floor and go run into the room crying. And it was a lot of good memories, man. I love all my cousins, and I just want to say, man, I can't afford to lose another one, man. So just please, try to step it up a little bit, and we'll always have him in our memories, and he'll always be in my heart. That's my baby cousin, and I love him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, man. I'll tell you one thing that I do know about this lady. She makes a good carne guisada.
Hi, my name is Vivian Rico. To most of my nephews, the Pebbles. Lots of memories. Louito, of course, spring break when he comes and stay. His smile, everyone knows, beautiful. But I hear all you guys talking about video games. So I'll tell you a story. A couple years back, me and Marco and my sons, Victor, friends, we went to Pinballsy. And so my kids wanted to challenge me to Street Fighter. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So, of course, I beat both of them. Wow. And Louito, I had posted on Facebook, and he comes out and he goes, okay, Thea, I challenge you. I said, we didn't ever get to go to Pinballsy. But, most of you guys know he's got a birthday coming up. Yes. Let's try to celebrate at Pinballsy. And all of us get together and play some video games in memory of him. But you guys, I love y'all. We can't do it at my house because y'all don't fit there no more. We had a bunch of parties at my house with all of you coming over. Those memories are cherished forever. But you guys take care, and you guys know I'm there if y'all need me for anything. You guys know where I live. If you just want to call me and say, yeah, make me something to eat, I'll do it. But you guys take care, and let's try to do that next month for him. September's coming up, his birthday's coming up. Let's challenge each other to a Street Fighter game.
How about Louito Tío? Can he call you? See if you want something to eat? La hermana.
You guys, I can't say my memory, but you guys have given me courage to my daughter for Ella because she can't come up here. So I'm just gonna. My heart is beating so fast right now. This is a message between her and Louito. She tells Louito, "What do you want to talk about?" She spelled WHONT. What do you want to talk about? With a lot of emojis. And he goes, "How about them Cowboys?" With the hands up. And then she goes, "Okay." And all those. And then he goes, "What are y'all doing?" And then "We just came from the roof." And he said, "What?" And then she goes, "It was cool," with all those emojis. And he goes, "Are y'all getting into trouble?" With a kiss emoji right there. And then the reason why I have this conversation is because he sent it to me. And he's like, "Where are your kids?" And then I said, "Oh, they're with Abel." And I called Abel right away that day, I remember. I said, "Where are my kids? Louito just texted me that they're on the roof. You don't know where they're at?" And he goes, "Calm down, they're on the roof, they're having fun." Then I called one of the boys, and they're always calming me down because I freak out over everything. And they're like, "Mom, we're with all our cousins, it's really cool." And then I'm like, "Okay, so you guys are good?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then I remember I called Louito and I was like, "Nah, brother, they're good." He's like, "'Cause you know I'll kick some ass." I said, "No, they're good." And that's what Ella wanted me to share.
Ella, can you just stand up so you know who's Ella? Because the people from the back can't see you. Just stand up. There you go. That's Ella. That's my other half heart. That's my baby. And the other two hearts are over there. That's my family, my kids. Anybody else?
My name is Linda Montes, and I'm Louito's tia. I'm from the De Leon side. I'm probably the only one in the room that's not a Rico. So, yeah, you're right. Eso me hace rica. I have really enjoyed hearing each and every one of you share, because that's a side of Louito that honestly I didn't get to see.
You're the reason why Amos is so white.
LouAnn, this is not about you, it's about Louie. You know,
my cousins would always ask me, "This is my radio right here."
yes, I'm the reason why he's so white. Funny, on that note, I can honestly say that, you know, at all of our family reunions, you know, Louie and I are real close. We've always been real close. I'm probably closer to Louie than I am to Rita and Tabby. I'm his mother's sister's daughter. So I held LouAnn as a baby, and I held Louito as a baby, and boy, what a world of difference. And I don't want y'all to think that because you're Ricos, y'all are the only ones that have fun. Because Tia Tila was really rambunctious and fun and wonderful and loud and the life of the party. But for some reason, Louie decided to give all of that to LouAnn. And when she was born, she took it all. And honestly, for almost all the first years of Louito's life, which is really interesting because he's still known as Louito today.
Yes.
So he never really grew up for us. He was always Louito. He always had the heart of a child. He was always so noble. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he was fully a man, but he was just had that noble spirit about him, so giving, so wonderful. But at all the De Leon reunions, when we would go see the abuelitos, that's when we'd see each other because we're all scattered in different places. We're from Houston.
Yeah.
They're from Austin, and for a while you guys were in Harlingen, and and so we would definitely know they had arrived because of LouAnn. But he was so quiet, and I never got to see that travieso side of him like you guys are talking about. And, right? We didn't know that side, right, Nancy? Not even his mother knew that side. So y'all really kept it on the down low. But honestly, Louito was precious, loved. When we had game night at Abuelita's table, he would get in there and play with us and everything, but he just, in his own calm way, And so I have really enjoyed this time getting to know another side of him that I didn't know until today. And finding out that he actually made his own way through life. And because for the longest, all we knew was that he was LouAnn's little brother. Everybody described him as look, this is LouAnn's little brother. And I think he was okay with that. He didn't care if she was loca and loud and whatever, He was who he was. And we just loved him for it, He was always there. He was there to help out. He was the first one to carry a pot or to do whatever was needed. That was him. That's who he was. And yeah, definitely. The only part I could relate to out of all the travesuras was that he liked to sleep. As a tia, that's the only part I can remember. He really liked to sleep, So I loved him so much. I loved his hugs. I'm going to miss him, just as we all are. And I look forward to that day when we will be together again. And boy, what a day that will be. Yeah. And that's the hope that we have, to be able to come together someday. And like Jadon says, I hope it's 2 decades from now, but whenever it is, we will come together. So I just want to close my words with saying, and I came up here because I felt kind of overwhelmed by the Rico presence. Because I don't have any fun stories to tell, other than to tell you how much I loved him and I loved his hugs. When Tomorrow Starts Without Me is the name of this poem by David Romano, and I thought it was so beautiful. When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not there to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes all filled with tears for me, I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. And each time that you think of me, I know that you'll miss me too. So when tomorrow starts without me, don't think that we're that far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right there. Just look closely. I'm in your heart.
Amen.
And that's where you'll always be, Louito, in my heart. In my love, in my peace, and in those moments when I feel overwhelmed by the world, I'm just going to do what you would do. Kind of sit on the sidelines, watch everybody else, just kind of chill and enjoy that vibration of just being in a chilled space that taught us all that life doesn't have to be that fast-paced to be enjoyed. Life doesn't have to be all crazy to be full of laughter and joy. It was in his own way, at his own pace, on his own terms, but absolutely amazing. And you taught us so much in your own noble, quiet way. And today we celebrate your life. And we celebrate that day that we know is coming when we'll all be together again. We all love you, Louito.
Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Tia Linda. Wow, what a beautiful poem, right? Wow. Someone else. I'll tell you something. After 15 minutes, you can come because we'll be offline. All right? I think they're going to, 4 o'clock, they're going to.
Thank you. This is really hard for me. I'm sorry. I just remember Louito. I'm always going to remember his accent, his Valley accent, and just remembering all the times we laughed, we joked over social media, and every time we would see each other, even though it was like always after 2 or 3 years, we would see each other at a wedding or unfortunately at a funeral. It was like we just picked up where we left off, and it's just so hard to accept this. It's a nightmare. And actually 2 days before he passed, he had posted a photo a long time ago with tattoos on his face. It was like a filter. And I was like, Lord, please, I said, Louito, tell me this is not this is not real. And he replied back and he said, yeah, maybe if I was rich, LOL. Which was so random, but I remember him going to my wedding and giving us a whole bunch of gift cards and to different restaurants, and every time me and my husband would use them, we would say, man, this is a good gift from Louito. I'm always just gonna remember that accent and that laugh and his presence and just his essence, and I'm gonna miss him so much, and I'm so sorry.
Amen. Thank you, Mika. Thank you. Thank you, Marco.
Hey, so I came up here earlier and I told y'all, man, I've never seen Louito like mad or, you know, want to fight anybody or nothing like that, but I take it back. There was one time, I must have been like, man, I couldn't have been like any older than like 12. I must have been like in 6th grade or something. And back in those days, as y'all know, my cousin Aaron and Paul used to live with us on my mom's side. And then my cousin Chance would also come stay with us. And then my cousin Vincent lived with us. So you can imagine it was Vincent, Aaron, Paul, they all lived with us. And then Chance would come visit. And then it was me and my brother. Right, it was like 6 or 7 boys all in one room for like a whole week, maybe a summer. And my cousins Aaron and Paul, they couldn't say Louito. So they started saying, what's his name? Huevitos? Man. And mind you, he put up with this for like a whole week. And man, he kept telling, man, stop calling me that. Leave me alone. Stop calling me that. Leave me alone for like a whole week. And I just remember one night, it was late. Parents were asleep, getting ready to go to work. We're all staying up playing video games. They're teasing each other, and they said it one more time. Well, that was the last time. He said, man, I already told you, stop calling me that. And boom, boom, boom in the room. And we're like, oh, I remember just being in shock. I was like, oh my God. I've never seen Louito this mad in my life. Boy, they got into it. Boom, he made Chance cry. I was like, oh my God. But yes, I had to remember that, man, because man, for like a week and a half, they just kept on. And y'all know him, man. He was patient. He was patient. And then I don't know if it's because he lost that. I don't know, it might have been like Mario Kart or something. He lost, and then they said that on the video game. Boom, man, that's what set it off. And like I said, it was 7 boys. Y'all, man, okay, back in the day, that room might have looked big enough for all of us, but it ain't a big room, right? So, man, I just wanted to bring that up, man. I hate to say it, Chance, but Louito gave it to you Louito gave it to you that night, boy. He gave it to him, but that's
Paz de Cristo. Para mí no es fácil estar aquí, pero no me quería quedar callada. Yo soy la mayor de 12 familia y Nancy es mi baby. Cuando Nancy nació, estaba tan chiquita con sus ojitos, la boquita bien chiquita. Y quiero decirles que yo tenía como 13 años y Y me encontré una muñequita y se la llevé a mi mamá. Le dije, aquí está esta muñeca para mi baby. Cuando Louito nació, pues era un niño bien hermoso. Y pues yo soy de Rico también, soy de la familia Rico Rodriguez, mi esposo. A Louito lo he visto crecer. La última vez que fue a la casa, yo había comprado unos sofás y yo nunca he querido que mis hijos duerman en los sofás. Y una mañana lo encontré ahí dormido, boca abajo, y yo no sabía que era Louito, sino que dije, ¿quién está allí? Y Louito volteó y dice, soy yo, tía. Le digo, "Ay, ok, es ok". Y luego me dice, maybe some breakfast. He always hungry. Y siempre se movía su barriguita. Yo le dije, I'm hungry. Y le digo, Louito, no me movías de mis sofás porque son nuevos. Dijo, no, tía, no. Puse una toalla, le digo, ¿dónde está? Y él supo que yo había hecho tamales y llegó ahí a la casa. Dice, tía, supe que hiciste tamales. Can I have some? Le digo, claro, siéntate. Y se sentó y le digo, ¿cuántos quieres? Dijo, dame ahorita 10. Y le serví los tamales y se los estaba comiendo. Le digo, ¿quieres salsa? Y dice, sí, pero no pica. Le dije, no. Y dijo, te quiero decir una cosa, tía. Le digo, bueno, pues dime. Dice, tus tamales están mejores que los de mi mamá y los de mi tía Emma. Y volteé y lo miré y le dije, así les has de estar diciendo a ellas también, ¿verdad? Y luego ella me dijo, tía, dame unos tamalitos para llevar. Comió todos los que quiso y luego le di como 2 docenas para que se llevara. Era bien bueno para comer. Bien bueno. Ya cuando le hice su almuerzo, estaba bien contento, me abrazó, me dijo, tía, te quiero mucho. Le dije, yo también. Y quiero decirle a mi hermana que los quiero mucho. Y este es mi primer sobrino que se me va. Y yo sé que ha sido muy difícil para la familia. Yo no sé cómo agarré fuerzas para estar aquí hablando con ustedes. Pero yo estaba pensando, dije, Señor, a lo mejor ya vas a venir bien pronto y te estás llevando a los que tienes que llevarte. Quiero decirles que tengo 40 años de estar bautizada. Y el Señor a mí no me ha fallado. Yo siempre estoy orando por todos, por la iglesia, por los ministros, por los pastores. Me acuerdo de la hermana Linda cuando nos trajo una conferencia bien linda, hace mucho, de la zanahoria y de todos los vegetables. Ahí tengo la conferencia. Pero quiero decirles que yo quise mucho a Luis, quiero mucho a mi familia. Somos una familia muy grande, la familia Rico, y yo soy la mayor de toda la familia, y el Señor me alcanzó primero a mí, el Señor ha tratado conmigo, el Señor ha hablado, me ha hablado y me ha hablado fuerte también, porque ustedes saben que uno no es perfecto, uno tiene muchas faltas, pero cuando me avisaron de Louito como a las 3 de la mañana, hermanas, me entró un temblor por dentro, dije, ¿cómo que se me fue? Pero yo no le dije nada a Dios, porque ¿quién es uno para reclamarle a Dios?
That's right.
Entonces, yo le dije a mi hija, porque ella es enfermera, Cristina, le dije, sentí un temblor por dentro, sentí que quería regresar el estómago, y luego me metí a la regadera y se me cayó mucho cabello. Y es que las emociones, hermanas, a veces uno no puede contener las emociones. Y Y Michael pues me estaba diciendo, mamá, contrólate, te quiero decir algo. Y fue muy fuerte para mí. Y yo sé, les doy muchas gracias a todos que están aquí. Y yo sé que si nos portamos bien, vamos a ver a Louito allá. Porque él se bautizó en el nombre de Jesucristo. Nadie es perfecto. Porque pueden decir, no, esto y esto no. Nadie es perfecto. Pero él se bautizó en el nombre de Jesucristo. Y la palabra de Dios dice, el que fuere bautizado, este será salvo. Señor les bendiga.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a funny story, and
tell your name.
Oh, my name is LouAnn. I'm Christina's daughter.
She's my niece.
Yeah. So
my granddaughter.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay, Grandma. You're still young. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's what happened. All right. And I won't forget this because I was with, our three amigos right here in the front seat. And, well, we were coming from the skating rink, and we were all sitting in the back seat of Louito's car, and Louito was driving. And I just remember that day, I looked to my right, and I seen that no one was wearing seatbelts, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I hope we don't crash. So I tried to put my seatbelt on, and Amos up here, nah, cause if you die, we all go die together. And so I was like, oh, Louito, I hope you're a good driver, man. He's like, don't worry about it, cuz bloop, bloop, we run over a curve. Oh my God. From that day on, I promised myself I want to drive with him. And he was driving what? It was like a little Toyota Corolla looking car. It was like a coupe, almost had no leg room. Like your knees were touching your face basically in the back seat. But I'll never forget that. That was, a good memory that I have with Louito. But yeah.
God bless you.
Sure, I'll give you the microphone.
Buenas tardes. No tengo muchas memorias buenas, pero sí divertidas. Pero solo voy a encontrar 3. Todos saben que acabo de llegar aquí, pero cuando Louito nos fue a visitar a México, se nos perdió. Su abuelita dijo, hey, son las 5 de la mañana y Louito no está. Yo le dije, pero ¿en dónde lo busco? Él no tiene amigos aquí. Dijo, pues a ver qué haces, pero lo tienes que encontrar. Dije, wow, ¿a dónde? No tiene amigos. Y entre estar platicando que lo iba a ir a buscar, él llega muy contento y dice, hey, ¿qué creen? Yo, ¿dónde estás? Que tu abuelita está bien preocupada. Es que me encontré unos amigos. Dije yo, ¿te vinieron a buscar de Austin? Dijo, no, unos amigos de aquí, de Santa Catarina. Le dije, tú acabas de llegar, ¿no tienes amigos aquí? Dijo, sí, muy buenos amigos. Le dije, ok, vete a dormir porque ya es muy tarde, tu abuelita está preocupada. Y me dice, al otro día en la mañana me encontré 3 tipos así, como de este tamaño. Todavía estaban muy felices. Y me dice, ¿tu sobrino es Louito? Le dije, ¿tú lo conoces? Porque yo vivo aquí hace mucho tiempo y no te conozco a ti. No, pero ya es nuestro amigo desde anoche. Ya era muy amigo de ellos. Yo no los conocía viviendo 30 años ahí. El otro es que convivimos en Cancún. Y eso me dio mucha risa a mí porque él tenía una bolsa colgada en su mano. Y la bolsa tenía gris y rosa, o negro y rosa, no lo recuerdo. Pero fuimos a comer y lo traía. Fuimos a pasear y lo traía. Y cuando ya estábamos en medio del mar, dije, Louito, pues, ¿qué es lo que tienes ahí? Dijo, oh, traigo algo de beber. Dije, ok, también agua. Dijo, esta agua es agua amarga. Le dije yo, ¿pero por qué te gusta el agua amarga? Dijo, esta es de la que no te gusta a ti, es cerveza. Pero todo el día estuvo cargando su bolsa para todos lados. Le dije, oh, no, no tienes agua. Dijo, yo no tomo agua, tía. Y la última, que ese sí, me caí de la risa. Él fue a cortarse el cabello a mi salón. Y dijo, tía, yo quiero que estés aquí siempre. Quiero ayudarte a que seas ciudadana americana. Le dije yo, ¿y cómo sería eso? Dijo, yo tengo muchos amigos que te pueden ayudar. Le dije yo, ¿cómo es? Pues vamos a venir aquí a tu salón y vamos a hacer como que te golpeamos y tú nos reportas y así te vas a hacer ciudadana americana. Yo le dije, no me gusta mucho, hijo, pero bueno, nomás que me peguen de la cintura para abajo. Y yo estaba muerta de la risa. Él sabe que siempre lo amamos y lo vamos a amar siempre.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina, I'm cousin Christy, and this has been really difficult for me because Louito would show up pretty much to all our sports events at home, and I was always lit up to see him especially when he showed up with his niece and his nephews. Louito was always a joy to be around. He was always happy. He was very much like his dad with his little jokes, really witty, super cool. He will really be missed. I really wish that the last couple of times that I would have made an effort to have him come. There was a few times where Ariel just showed up with the boys and I'm like, where's Louito? And oh, he's coming. But in the midst of all the action and the people, I would never call him and be like, hey, where are you? And other than that, that's all I have to say is that I'm really gonna miss him. I'm not gonna have him over anymore. So it's gonna be very different for me. I really enjoy having my family together, especially over at my house. All my cousins, we all grew up very close. I am one of the oldest nieces or cousins, so this is hard. Thank you, everyone. This is one of our first cousins that we ever lose. He's the only one. We are very close. I really wanted just to get up here and thank my tio Louie and my tia Nancy for all the childhood memories. Yes. I told myself, I said I want to pass by a few places. One is your guys' house in Loyola. Yes, we should. The other one was Sandy's. Sandy's, yeah. My tio would always take us there. Yeah. During the week, we got some pictures from our childhood, and my brother said, Mikey, sis, do you remember where that was? This picture that comes up here. I said, I think we're at the Capitol. Yeah, he took it. I said, Theo had us everywhere. And one of the memories that I do have of him was, like my mom said, he always had a good appetite. And all the cousins that are here know that I always cook at my house. And he, a lot of the times, didn't come, and one day he showed up, and I said, cousin, I said, why are you coming out late? I already put all the food up. And he was like, well, take it out. And I served him, and I said, is this enough? He goes, no, give me more. And so I made him a big plate, and he's like, man, I ate like a king over here. I ate like a king. He fed me like a king, and I said, that's right. But the funny thing too was that all of us cousins have given each other nicknames, and we're always joking around. And when he had his little coupe, his little car, the boys started saying, there goes Louito in the Barbie car. And he hated that because he loved his little car. So when he got his last one, he says, cuz, have you seen my new car?
I don't have that Barbie car no more. And I was like, oh my God, because your car is beautiful. He was super excited about it. But I also took it really hard when I got that call. He was like my baby brother. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, all I could picture was his little baby face, you know, when he was in the picture that they have up there. Cachetón, with his chupón. I remember I would always want to carry him, but he was so heavy. But he was always so loving, so sweet. Me and my sister said, sis, name one bad thing he's ever done, and we couldn't even think of anything. Nothing. He never gave us no problems. Nothing. Ni una queja mala. He definitely showed how much he loved us, and we love him, and I'm never gonna forget him. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I know you don't like tattoos, but I'm gonna get my cousin tattooed on me. I said, I know you don't like them, Mom, don't get mad, but it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a pretty tattoo, because for me, that to me, it's like having him with me forever, because I want him to know that I'm never gonna forget about him. And like I said, I just want to thank you through Louie for all those childhood memories. They were amazing childhood memories, and we have to stay strong. The holidays are approaching and all that. His birthday, I would call him every year because he was 7 days before me. He's the 13th, I'm the 20th. And every year I could never forget his birthday. This year, I'm still gonna, some way, somehow, I don't know, Instagram, whatever he had, I'm still gonna message him. This is surreal to me. I don't believe that I'm up here. But I just want him to know that I love him from the bottom of my heart, and I'm never gonna forget about him. His beautiful smile. And I just want to let you guys know I love you all very much. And that's all I have to say.
It just reminded me right now, so I was like, okay, I need to say it. Everyone keeps talking about his beautiful smile, and I did say that. I was like, oh, he had beautiful teeth. But I know, I don't know if Tia Emma remembers how that happened. ¿Te acuerdas, tía, de su diente? So, él cuando me dijo a mí, he told me this story because I wasn't there. He goes, man, I was at Tia Emma's house, and I guess all I've been drinking was beer, and I didn't drink any water. I was dehydrated, and he goes, I fainted, and he goes, and I fell forward, and Tia Emma, instead of grabbing me, she went, hey! And he goes, and I fell forward, and I broke my tooth in half. So he goes, and I had to go to work like that. And I said, what, brother? Because he sent me a picture, and he's like that. I wish I had that picture, but I don't have it. I think, you know how the text, they start deleting when they're too long? Because that's one of the first things I did. I went through all my messages with him. Anyway, and so it wasn't happening. He goes, I have to go to work like that. And I said, what did the people say? He's like, nothing. I just told him I got in a fight. Like, I'm not going to tell him that. I'm not going to tell him that I fell and I fainted and my tooth broke in half because my tia didn't catch me. And I said, how is she going to catch you? You would have crushed her. He's like, I don't know. You know how when they lift the car and they gives you strength, she should have grabbed me. I said, she didn't even know that you were fainting, Menso. I would always call him Menso. And yeah, he had his tooth broken in half. But that dentist did a great job, and his teeth and smile were gorgeous. And I just wanted to say that.